The silence before thunder. The stars above Vesta Prime glittered like cold diamonds against the canvas of space, unaware of the storm brewing beneath them. The human colony world, with its sprawling agricultural domes and modest urban centers, had enjoyed nearly 3 decades of peace. They were farmers, engineers, teachers, people who had fled the political complexities of Earth's solar system for a simpler life. Zara Novak sat alone in the colony's communication hub, her dark eyes reflecting the glow of multiple screens. At 28, she was already the head of planetary communications, not because of ambition, but necessity. Most young people left Vesta Prime for more exciting worlds closer to the galactic core. Still seeing those signal anomalies? Asked Hiro Tanaka, the night shift security officer, placing a steaming cup beside her terminal. Zara nodded, pushing a strand of copper hair behind her ear. 4th time this month. Something's disrupting our satellite grid at the exact same intervals. She pointed to a cluster of red dots on her display. And look, 3 outposts have gone silent in the outer ring. Equipment failure? Hiro suggested, but his voice lacked conviction. All 3 simultaneously, with the same signal pattern beforehand. Zara shook her head. I've sent reports to the Colonial Authority and Earth Command, but she didn't need to finish. Everyone knew that Earth had turned inward after the resource wars. The once mighty homeworld had sealed its borders, reduced its military presence, and left the far colonies to fend largely for themselves. Governor Reeves says I'm being paranoid, Zara said with a bitter smile. Claims it's just solar flare activity. Vesta Prime's small defense force consisted of little more than a planetary shield grid and a handful of outdated patrol ships. They were barely equipped to handle pirates, let alone whatever was causing those signal disruptions. The next morning brought no answers, only more silence from the outer ring settlements. Zara's request to send a reconnaissance drone was finally approved, but it felt like too little, too late. Drone telemetry coming online, announced Jen Wei, Zara's assistant. Approaching outpost Taurus now. The command center staff gathered around the main display. Governor Reeves stood with his arms crossed, his weathered face set in stubborn lines of denial. The drone's camera feed flickered to life, showing the outpost in the distance. Or what remained of it. Oh my God, someone whispered. The agricultural dome was shattered. Prefabricated buildings lay in smoking ruins. No movement, no signs of life, just destruction that appeared methodical and complete. Check for radiation, ordered Reeves, his voice suddenly hoarse. None detected, replied Jen. But there's something else. Unusual energy signatures. Nothing in our database. The drone moved closer, scanning the ruins. Then, without warning, its feed cut to static. What happened? Demanded Reeves. Zara's fingers flew across her console. Signal lost. She stopped, staring at new data flowing across her screen. Multiple objects just entered orbit. They're not broadcasting any recognition codes. The planetary defense grid automatically activated, but what happened next occurred with terrifying speed. The unidentified ships, sleek, angular vessels with hull configurations unlike anything in their records, tore through the colony's defenses as if they were tissue paper. Within minutes, the first explosions lit up Vesta Prime's capital city. Get me a direct channel to Earth Command, Reeves shouted, panic finally breaking through his composure. Working on it, Zara replied, her training keeping her voice steady despite the chaos erupting around her. But the long-range communication array was just hit. Colonists flooded the streets, seeking shelter as the alien ships descended. Their weapons fired with terrible precision, targeting infrastructure before people, a calculated attack designed to cripple, then conquer. They're hurting civilians, reported Hiro from a security feed. Taking prisoners. In the command center, Governor Reeves was organizing an evacuation of essential personnel. We need to preserve the colonial government, he insisted. Zara refused to leave her post. Someone has to keep trying to get a message out. The communication grid is down. Not all of it, Zara replied. The deep space relay at Mount Olympus might still be operational. If I can reach it, I can bypass our regular channels. Reeves hesitated, torn between duty and survival. You'll never make it through the attack zone. I have to try. Zara downloaded critical data to a portable drive and headed for the exit. If Earth doesn't know what's happening here, other colonies will fall too. The journey to Mount Olympus Station was a nightmare of smoke, ruins, and desperate evasion. Zara witnessed the aliens for the first time. Tall, armored figures with multiple limbs moving with unsettling precision. The Krell, she would later learn they were called, though in that moment they were simply terror incarnate. The Deep Space Relay Station was partially damaged but still functional. With trembling hands, Zara connected her equipment and began the complex process of redirecting the signal through a cascade of old emergency satellites, a network largely forgotten but never fully decommissioned. Outside, the sounds of destruction grew closer. She had minutes at most. "This is Zara Novak of Vesta Prime Colonial Communications," she began, voice steady despite the tears streaming down her face. "We are under attack by an unknown alien force. Highly advanced. 3 outer settlements already destroyed. They're taking survivors prisoner. Our defenses have failed. Requesting immediate assistance." She paused, then added with raw emotion, "Is anyone still listening? Does Earth even care anymore? We are human too. We deserve protection. Please, help us." The message sent, bouncing between ancient relay points, traveling across vast, empty stretches of space, a desperate cry in the darkness. And against all probability, it was heard. Deep beneath Earth's Atlantic Ocean, in a facility whose existence had been redacted from public records, an alert sounded for the first time in 17 years. The facility, officially Deep Ocean Strategic Command, but known to its skeleton crew as the Tomb, had maintained minimal operations since Earth's isolationist policies took effect. Most of its systems remained in standby mode, its weapons cold, its ships docked. Lieutenant Naomi Okafor was the duty officer that cycle, her job mainly consisting of system checks and maintenance reports. Nothing ever happened in the tomb. Until now. "Commander," she called, staring at her console in disbelief. "We're receiving a priority Omega distress call." Commander Tenzin Liu approached slowly, coffee mug in hand. At 53, he had spent the latter part of his naval career in this buried command center, waiting for orders that never came from a government that preferred to forget they existed. "Must be a system glitch," he muttered. "Run diagnostics." "Already did, sir. It's authenticated. Colony World Vesta Prime is under attack." Liu's cup froze halfway to his lips. "That's impossible. We would have had intelligence." "Message includes visual confirmation," Naomi interrupted, bringing the footage to the main screen. "Unknown hostiles, advanced weaponry. They're being slaughtered, sir." Liu stared at the grainy images, his military training warring with 17 years of standing down. "Even if this is legitimate, we have no authorization to respond. Current protocols require." An older voice interrupted from the doorway. "Current protocols can go to hell." Both officers turned to see Admiral Valentina Kuznetsov, the facility's commanding officer, standing there. At 70, she was a relic of Earth's more engaged era, a veteran of conflicts that younger officers studied in history classes. "Admiral," Liu began, "regulations clearly state." "I know what the politicians decided." Kuznetsov cut him off, approaching the display to study the attack footage. "I also know what we swore to protect. All human settlements, not just those convenient to current policy." She straightened. "Decision made. Activate Protocol Lazarus." Liu paled. "Admiral, that would require." "I know exactly what it requires, Commander. Do it anyway." Protocol Lazarus was the emergency reactivation of Earth's Advanced Defense Forces ships, weapons, and personnel placed in suspended animation when the isolationist policies began. It would mean directly contravening current government directives. It would also mean waking him. Deep within the tomb's most secure section, a cryogenic chamber hummed with renewed activity. Medical personnel monitored vital signs as the revival process began. The man inside had once been Earth's most decorated commander, a tactical genius whose strategies had saved human settlements during the Proxima conflict. Commander Darius Kane had volunteered for long-term cryostasis when it became clear that Earth no longer wanted warriors. "Keep me frozen until you need me again," he had said. "Because someday, you will." That day had arrived. Kane's eyes opened slowly, adjusting to light for the first time in 17 years. His first conscious breath was followed by a racking cough as his lungs reacclimated. "Status report," he rasped, military discipline evident even in his weakened state. Admiral Kuznetsov stepped forward. "Human colony under attack by unknown hostiles. Significant casualties. No response from Galactic Council or neighboring systems." Kane nodded once, processing. "The Phantom Fleet? Maintained in standby. All ships operational. And my team? Ready for revival on your order." Kane's eyes, steel gray and already regaining their legendary focus, narrowed slightly. Why now, Admiral? Earth abandoned the colonies years ago. Kuznetsov gestured to a nearby screen, where Zara's desperate message played on loop. Because someone finally reminded us what happens when humanity forgets its own. Kane watched the young woman's plea, her courage amidst devastation. His expression hardened into resolve. Wake my crew, he ordered, already disconnecting medical sensors, and prep the obsidian shadow for immediate launch. In the darkness of the tomb, lights began to flicker on throughout the massive underground hangar. Dormant ships, sleek, black vessels with advanced stealth technology and weapons systems far beyond public knowledge, powered up one by one. Earth had slept for almost 2 decades, but now it was waking up, and the galaxy was about to remember why humans had once been feared. When stars burn cold, silence hung over the Galactic Council chambers. The Krell ambassador, Vorex, had just finished delivering his report, a clinical description of their pacification of 3 human colony worlds, including Vesta Prime. His chitinous exoskeleton gleamed under the chamber lights as he stood tall, 6 limbs perfectly still, compound eyes revealing nothing. These primitive outposts were established without proper territorial registration, Vorex stated. The Krell Imperium has simply reclaimed what falls within our ancestral expansion zones. Murmurs rippled through the assembly. The various alien representatives, some humanoid, others wildly divergent in form, exchanged troubled glances. Not out of sympathy for humans, but from the uncomfortable precedent the Krell were setting. Ambassador Thelos of the Meridian Alliance, a tall, willowy being with silvery skin, rose to speak. While Earth's withdrawal from galactic affairs has indeed left their status ambiguous, this council has not authorized military action against civilian settlements. Authorization was not required, Vorex replied coldly. Humans abandoned their claims when they retreated behind their borders. They no longer participate in council affairs, no longer maintain their defense treaties. Their colonies are unclaimed assets. The Krell's argument wasn't without merit in the complex web of galactic politics. Earth's isolationist policies had created a power vacuum that many species viewed as an opportunity. The only surprise was that the Krell had moved first. What of the colonists? Asked Representative Jadol of the Tauri Compact. Processed according to standard Krell protocols, Vorex answered without elaboration. Everyone knew what that meant. Survivors would be sorted for labor value, with the rest discarded. As the debate continued, none noticed the small light blinking on the main communication panel. None except Leoravex, the human diplomatic observer, a position maintained despite Earth's withdrawal, though largely ceremonial. Quietly, she accessed the incoming message. Her face drained of color. In the ruins of Vesta Prime's capital, Zara Novak huddled with 30 other survivors in the collapsed basement of what had once been the Colonial Museum. 3 days had passed since the initial attack. The Krell now methodically swept the city, sector by sector, gathering survivors into processing centers. They'll find us soon, whispered Jin Wei, blood caking the side of her face from a wound sustained during their escape. We just need to hold out a little longer, Zara insisted, though hope was fading. Her message had gone unanswered. Perhaps it had never even been received. The ground above them trembled with the passage of heavy Krell harvester vehicles. These massive machines extracted resources with frightening efficiency, including biological resources. Humans. A child whimpered nearby. Zara moved to comfort him, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. It's going to be okay, Elias, she lied. A sudden explosion shook the ruins, different from the rhythmic vibrations of Krell machinery. Then another, closer. The survivors exchanged confused glances. Is that? Hero began, lifting his head. Combat, confirmed an older man who had once served in Earth's military. Heavy weapons fire. Minutes passed, filled with distant sounds of battle. Then silence, more terrifying than the noise. Dust filtered down from the ceiling as footsteps approached their hiding place. Zara gripped a makeshift weapon, a piece of metal rebar, and positioned herself between the entrance and the others. The debris covering their hiding spot shifted, light streaming in. A figure appeared, backlit and impossible to identify. Survivors confirmed, said a crisp, female voice. Medical team, advance. The figure stepped forward, revealing a human in sleek black combat armor unlike anything Zara had seen before. The helmet retracted, revealing a woman with dark skin and close-cropped hair marked with a single streak of silver. "Lieutenant Naomi Okafor, Earth Defense Force Phantom Fleet," she announced. "We're getting you out of here." Zara's knees nearly buckled with relief. Earth came. Okafor's expression was grim but proud. Earth remembers its own. The obsidian shadow cut through space like a blade, its advanced propulsion system leaving no trace, its stealth technology rendering it invisible to conventional sensors. In the ship's command center, Commander Darius Kane studied tactical displays showing the ongoing operation across Vesta Prime. "Status report," he ordered, voice steady. "Ground teams have secured 4 survivor concentrations," reported his executive officer, Marcus Chun. "Krell resistance is heavy but disorganized. They weren't expecting opposition." Kane nodded. After 17 years in cryosleep, his body still ached, but his mind was sharp as ever. "And the other colonies?" "The Nova Centauri is en route to Helios Junction. The Midnight Spear will reach Arcadia in 6 hours. Both are implementing identical protocols." Earth's response had been swift and devastating, not the bureaucratic machine of old, but a precise surgical strike. The Phantom Fleet, built during the height of human military advancement and then hidden away, represented technology beyond what most species believed humans capable of. Admiral Kuznetsov's hologram appeared on the command deck. "The Council has been notified of our intervention," she reported from Earth Command. "Their reaction is interesting." "I don't care about their reaction," Kane replied. "They stood by while our people were slaughtered. Nevertheless, Commander, we're not just fighting the Krell now. We're fighting 17 years of political apathy. The Council has called an emergency session." Kane's expression hardened. "Let them talk. We'll act." In orbit above Vesta Prime, the true battle was unfolding. The initial Earth strike had destroyed the Krell ground commanders in their communication hubs, but their orbital fleet was rallying. 7 Krell warships moved to engage the Obsidian Shadow. "Enemy vessels on intercept course," announced the tactical officer. "Let them come," Kane ordered. "Engage Protocol Thanatos." Throughout the ship, weapon systems unlike any seen in open warfare activated. During Earth's isolation, its weapons development hadn't ceased. It had merely gone underground, creating technologies based on principles most species considered theoretical. The lead Krell vessel fired first, energy weapons blazing across the void. The Obsidian Shadow didn't evade. Instead, the energy seemed to bend around the ship, redirected by field generators that defied conventional physics. "Return fire," King commanded. "Target their propulsion systems first." What followed wasn't a battle so much as a demonstration. Precision strikes from weapons the Krell couldn't detect, let alone defend against. Within minutes, 5 enemy vessels were drifting, disabled. The remaining 2 attempted retreat. "Shall we pursue?" asked Chun. Kane shook his head. "Let them go. Let them tell others what happened here." In the Galactic Council chamber, chaos had erupted. The Krell ambassador was demanding immediate sanctions against Earth for their unprovoked aggression, while other species watched in stunned silence as footage from Vesta Prime played across the main screens. Footage showing Earth's forces systematically dismantling the Krell occupation. "This is an act of war," Vorex hissed, his translator struggling to convey the full range of his fury. Leora Vex, the human observer, finally stood. For years, her position had been ceremonial, her voice ignored. "Not today." "No," she said, her voice carrying through the chamber. "This is an act of protection. Something this council should have provided but failed to." The screens changed, now showing Zara's original distress call, the desperate plea that had awakened Earth's sleeping giants. "For 17 years, Earth honored its decision to withdraw from galactic politics," Leora continued. "We asked nothing of you. We interfered in nothing. But make no mistake, our silence was not surrender. Our absence was not abandonment. Not of our own people." Ambassador Thelos looked troubled. "Observer Vex, while the Krell actions were regrettable, Earth's response represents a dangerous escalation. The technologies deployed violate multiple treaty restrictions. Treaties Earth is no longer signatory to," Leora countered. "You cannot demand we follow your rules while denying us your protection." A new hologram appeared in the center of the chamber, Admiral Valentina Kuznetsov, her aged face severe but dignified. "This council once stood for justice across the galaxy," the Admiral began without preamble. "Earth once believed in that vision. We fought for it, bled for it, until politics and compromise eroded that vision into meaninglessness. She leaned forward, her eyes sweeping the assembly. We do not seek war. We do not seek territory. But hear this clearly. Any force that threatens human settlements, any planet, any species, any alliance, will face Earth's full response. We will no longer debate while our people die. The hologram vanished, leaving the council in stunned silence. On the medical deck of the Obsidian Shadow, Zara Novak watched Earth grow larger in the viewport. After treating the survivors and securing Vesta Prime, Commander Kane had ordered them brought home, the first colonists to return to Earth in over a decade. I never thought I'd see it, she whispered, the blue-green planet filling her vision. Neither did I, replied a voice behind her. She turned to find Commander Kane, his tall frame silhouetted against the doorway. Commander, she acknowledged, straightening despite her injuries. Thank you seems inadequate. Kane moved to stand beside her at the viewport. Your message changed everything. One voice, one cry when everyone else had accepted silence. He studied her with those penetrating gray eyes. That kind of courage is rare. I just did what anyone would do. No, Kane said firmly. Most accept the world as it is. Few demand it be better. Below them, Earth seemed to glow with renewed purpose. The planet that had turned inward was awakening again, not as conqueror or colonizer, but as protector. What happens now? Zara asked. The Krell have retreated from all 3 colonies, but they won't be the last threat. Other species have been watching Earth's withdrawal as an opportunity. Kane's expression was resolute. We've sent a message, but words mean nothing without action to back them. And the Galactic Council? They've called for negotiations. Earth has agreed, but on our terms. No more treaties that leave human worlds vulnerable. No more compromises that cost innocent lives. Across the galaxy, news of Earth's return spread like wildfire. The Phantom Fleet, ships that moved like shadows, weapons that defied known science, soldiers awakened from a generation of sleep, became both legend and warning. Some species feared this resurgence. Others welcomed the return of a stabilizing force. On Krell Prime, their ruling hierarchy convened in emergency session, facing an unprecedented military defeat. Their expansion plans, carefully crafted over decades of human absence, lay in ruins. In hidden research facilities across Earth's solar system, projects long dormant accelerated. Not just weapons, but shields, medical technology, and faster-than-light innovations that would protect human interests across the stars. And in a small office overlooking the rebuilt Terran Defense Headquarters, Zara Novak began her new role. No longer just a colonial communications specialist, she now served as the voice of distant human settlements, ensuring that never again would a human cry go unanswered. Commander Kane had offered her the position personally. You reminded Earth of who we are, he had said. Now help us become who we should be. The galaxy had forgotten that humans never truly surrender. They adapt. They wait. They remember. And when called upon, they return with fire and thunder. Because across the endless void of space, one truth remained constant. The most dangerous force in the universe was not alien technology or overwhelming numbers. It was humanity with purpose. The stars watched as Earth, long silent, found its voice again. And that voice echoed across the cosmos, not in conquest, but in a promise. We protect our own.